Got her back from her trip. Actually, back a few days ago, but I had other stuff to get done, so I didn't get back working on this until just yesterday. Working on the trusses when Sydney came out and helped me, and she really did a bang-up job. Both my kids just surprise me all the time, but she really got in there and really got it done. Super proud of her. I would give her a task to do, which was basically laying out the trusses. I come through and nail everything. She get glued, get the gusses down, and she was working ahead of me. So she was really going above and beyond what even some workers I've had help me in the past do, where I'm always telling them what to do and they're just kind of brain dead, it seems. But really impressed me because she got ahead of the ball. I was getting things prepped before I even got there. So super proud of how that worked out. Anyways, all the girls are in town today, so it's just me working on this. But my goal is going to be to get these trusses up that Steady and I built yesterday. So this is enough to get me over the dining room area, and then I'll have to come back and get the beams up that'll extend over the covered porch area before I can do anything else. Okay, I got all my blocks in now. It's still a little tricky because the wall has got that big bow in it because those dang swollen headers. But I think I got it pretty well good to go now. So I'm only going, I don't need to do these yet until I get the next set of trusses done. Before I do that, I gotta get the beam in that goes down here in the posts and down there in the corner. So I've got a little bit of time there, so I'm not gonna do that right now. So I'm about ready now to go ahead and get that first truss up, and I hope it goes as smooth as the other side did. This row is just kind of a pain with these mono trusses, but looking down the ones I already did, you can see how good and straight they are. So even though they're a pain, mainly because this wall is just not perfect, that's why these are being such a pain. But beyond that, as far as the building of the trusses, that's all looking really good. So once I get past, well, pretty much all of this is going to be hard. Well, once I get over this last window, then it won't be so bad. But until then, it's going to be an issue. So start working on these trusses, getting them up now. Well, I ran into a bit of a snag here. I was putting my string line up to get my 16 inches and found that my wall, you really can't even see it, but it's actually bowed out right where that header is. So I would assume that the wall here on either side is just twisted and pushed out a little bit. So what I'm going to do is pull it back in by getting a board, screwing into there, pulling it back, and then screwing that in right in the center, and that should get it back up where it should be, so I can start getting those trusses up. It's fun when you think you're recording and you're not, because I've had 2 recordings complaining about the difficulties I'm having, and then I went to look at something and none of those videos took, but I have a 2-second video of me turning the phone off to on. So basically, to recap my last hour of aggravation here, one of the trusses bows up on the top and on the bottom, and it made me think that the one next to it was bowing down, which it is slightly. But mainly it's that first truss I put on is bowing up, and I've marked along the existing roof side to make it level along there. So what I end up deciding doing is I'm just going to cut along that, cut the top of the truss off about the thickest parts, maybe 3/8 of an inch, if that, and then I'm going to have to put a piece on the bottom next to it to get the drywall screwed onto, because it just bows up just slightly. And that's the only thing I can figure out to do. I've lost a whole hour sitting here trying to figure out what's wrong, what happened. You know, Barry was cutting the pieces, and there's a few of those I knew weren't cut quite right, but I figured if everything fits into the jig and the gussets are holding together, then it would be fine. Now I'm to go back and check my jig and make sure I didn't have a loose block or something, because something just don't seem quite right. I don't know. It's frustrating. I've been staring at this for a while now. I think the farmer's out plowing the fields or something. I've been here in the combine for a while. But I'm losing daylight. I got maybe an hour, if I'm lucky, left. So I'm going to cut the top of that first truss off, and then hope everything will line up and look like better anyways. Well, that didn't work, so I cut it off, but now it's low here, still a little high there. Up's okay, but I'm gonna do what I probably should have done in the beginning, was just pull that truss off and replace it. Just wasted a lot of time messing with that. Well, I feel really, well, I don't know what to feel right now, but ticked off, because I put that truss in there and it's exactly the same. It is way high. The only thing I can think of now is this wall bumps up quite a bit just on this corner, but it's odd that 60 inches over it would go back down. I just don't know what to think right now. But it's still messed up. So it's where it needs to be as far as my overhang goes, but I don't know. I'm gonna look and see if I need to cut this piece down. I thought about that earlier, but maybe that's what needs to be done. And I have no idea why this is so off. It is perfect down there. All of those are level. It's out as far as it needs to be. On this side, of course, where it nails in up there is level, is right where it needs to be. But once again, right in the center, it bows up. And it's exactly the same bowing as the last kind, the last one I just tried to cut down. I mean, almost identical issue. So even if I were to cut that top plate and push it down so this is now level all the way down, Now my end is all messed up down there. I just don't get it. I mean, I guess I just don't know. See, the weird thing about it is the way these came off the jig, this would have been the fourth one, so these weren't even next to each other. So if the jig was messed up, all these would be messed up. And these are fine. If I run the level underneath this top cord and on down through these, it's fine. And this one's high. If I go from this one down to this one, it's still fine, and this one's high. So man, I guess, I don't know. I don't know. I really hope this doesn't continue being a problem, because I can't cut these back apart. They're glued and nailed. And okay, so it's going to be a lot of work here, but I'm going to take the truss off. I just put it on. That still shows it being wrong. Now it's only held on with 2 screws right now, so take that off. I'm just going to lay it up on the roof. I'm going to take the one next to it off, slide it down, and see if I have the same problem. If I have the same problem, then I know, well, if the second one is actually the one that's messed up. Because that one looks like it sags a little bit on the bottom. Well, we'll try it anyways. We'll slide that one down. See what that does. I wish I had one from the previous set that I did that I could lay back in the jig and make sure it all works, all fits the same way, but I don't. I don't know how I would do that really. So, get taking that off and switching them, see what happens. Well, I guess I just had 2 bad trusses in a row, because that's pretty darn close where it needs to be. I don't know how these 2 trusses got so messed up. They weren't even built at the same time. So that concerns me on the rest of those. I don't know how I'm going to check them, but that'll be a task for tomorrow, because I'm running out of time and I got to get everything cleaned up before I go in. I don't like leaving messes around. So I'm going to have to buy more lumber now to fix these trusses that are bad and go through the jig and try to figure out what the heck is wrong, because, well, I don't know. Something is screwy. I gotta figure it out, because I can't keep wasting hours trying to figure out why my trusses are not working the right way. At least my wall is straight. I may try and get one more truss up in the center there. At least I've got those 3 on. And hopefully it's not going to be one that's messed up. I was going to say the only I could think of was Barry cut the wrong board, so he had to go to Home Depot and get new ones. This is the, and it was the top cord. So that's one of the new ones. It's pinker. See, that's a new one. Well, I guess all 3 of these would have been new ones. The only one that's not is that next one. I can see it's a lighter color, different kind of wood. So I suppose there's a chance that, well, no, because those are fine. I don't know. This is just frustrating. Something screwed up. I figured it out. Well, it's been a discouraging day for sure, but I got 3 more up, and I'm going to try and get 2 more up. Once they go on fine, they go on really quick. Those ones were not working, but at least I got a hell of a view. Isn't that beautiful? Well, it's next morning, and I've got 1 truss I didn't get put up last night. So I've set it next to the truss I took off that didn't seem to fit right, but not the one that I cut the top off of. Put them next to each other, and it really doesn't look that bad. I mean, the back one, which is actually the truss that I haven't put up yet or haven't cut anything on, is a little higher, but this top cord there gets pushed into place when I set the truss. But this part down here at the end is the part that was I guess the whole thing was raised up. and it does look to be a little bit higher, but I don't know. So I may go ahead and, the dog being goofy there in the background. So I may go ahead and try and put that truss I took down back up, and being in a different location. Maybe it was the location that was. Well, I just got this one up. This is one of the ones that I took down because it was messed up, and it's actually pretty darn good. So that's some good news. So far the morning's going pretty well. This is that last truss. This is the one that I cut the top off of, and I can clearly see when I look down it from this direction that right where this knot is, it bows way up and then comes back out again. So that's one of the issues with this one, where when I put it up there, I was going to have a wave in my ceiling. Alright, so I got this truss back up here, and there's that knot I was talking about. So if I lay this across, you can see that's pretty much perfect with the wall. I got a good 3/8 to 1/2 inch gap right there where that bows up at. You can see everything else is right where it needs to be. So definitely it was this bottom cord that was causing a lot of the problems, and I bet with it being bent like that, it may have pushed that top cord up a little bit too. So as far as my cost goes, I am now slightly above what the cost would have been if I had ordered them from the local truss company. So again, like I said this before, not saving any money here whatsoever, but I would still be waiting another over 4 weeks, 4 to 5 weeks before I would get, well, I guess 4 weeks before I would get the truss for the manufacturers. This is speeding things up a lot faster. I'm hoping to have everything done and the roof on before I would have even gotten the trusses before. But cost-wise, it's not even, I mean, don't even think you're going to save money doing it this way. Also, actually, I'm going to go above that because I've got to buy more nails. So I have put in, see, the boxes are 4,000 each, and I've gone through 5 boxes. That's 20,000 nails, and I probably need to buy at least 1, if not 2 more. So each one of those boxes is about $80. So I think a little bit cheaper online. If I can get them on Amazon, they're quite a bit cheaper. But I need to get those ordered actually, because I'm down on my last box right now, and that's not even going to make it through the rest of the mono trusses. So, and then I hit the 35-foot ones, which have a lot more nails in them. So I'm probably going to order 2 more boxes to be safe. But I'm going to go shoot some deer. We've had some monster bucks. I saw one this morning. It's just huge. We'll see if I can get him. That coyote's right in front of me. Right about 100 feet. And there's some deer off to my right that are hissing at me. Because right now, the wind's blowing right their direction. They can smell me. Oh, there's that coyote. Sure what he's doing, or she, but that's what spooked the